developed countries have developed because there is a lot of sense of corporate social responsibility in the corporates in those countries. Fortunately for them, the proportion of their population and the number of corporates is exactly a match. The corporate social responsibility that the companies do in India is a great mismatch because the number of corporates are very less compared to the population. For each one to be benefited from corporate social responsibility is not possible to depend only on the corporates. So myself and my friends go appealing to people that forget the concept of corporate social responsibility but get into the format of personal social responsibility. Each one, teach one, each one, reach one is the motto of our organization and our living. So we try to motivate people that you might educate even one child in the remote village of the country, but that one child will change the future of the country. You might be spending 20,000 rupees a year for your child's fees, but for 500 rupees per child, a child can learn for one full year. So why not adopt one child? And even my peon can adopt one child by paying 500 rupees. So that's how we try to inspire people and motivate them that get into this form of giving, because the more you give, the more you get. And I am a living example of getting more by giving. So it has become a philosophy and we encourage people to do that. One more small thing I would like to share with people is that we need to change with time. There was a time when our elders used to say that when you do something good, when your right hand does something good, your left hand should not know about it. So those days are gone. Now I tell people, even if you do a little good, stand on the top of your terrace and shout and let the whole world know what good you did. So that the other guy listening to you will either out of jealousy or out of competition try to beat you in that, and somebody will benefit. so this is what we try to do.
You were sent as a part of business delegation to Moscow, China, Far East, Middle East and USA. What was the agenda?
I am a part of CII, Confederation of Indian Industry. I am a part of a lot of organizations because I like to learn a lot in this type of organizations.
Negotiating and finalizing deals is one of your strong passions. Can you tell us how you have developed this skill and some guidelines for other entrepreneurs to develop it? And could you describe some difficult negotiating situation and how you have overcome that?
Well, my ambition is to become the best negotiator in the world. I love to negotiate. I'm a buyer. I have profiled myself. There is something very interesting knowledge that I would like to share with all of you is, couple of years back I became a part of a very interesting organization which is defunct now, called Excel Foundation, Extraordinary Life. And that gave me a very interesting learning which dramatically changed my life 8 years back. There I learned that every person is cut to do something, some particular role. You can't do everything. People goof up because you try to do everything. If you try to do everything, you don't become successful. Making money is not the only success. You might still be making money with a lot of struggle. And it was a very interesting formula. And this organization defined people in 8 categories. I'll shortly run through all those 8 categories. One category is creator, second is star, third is supporter, fourth is deal maker, fifth is trader, sixth is accumulator, seventh is lord, and eighth is a mechanic. Each profile is saying something. Like a creator is a person who's intelligent, who can create something, like Bill Gates. He created the Microsoft company, the software, the Windows. So he's a creator. Star, Amitabh Bachchan. He can't sell his own products, but he is very good to sell other people's products. So he's a star. Supporter, Jack Welch. He didn't create GE Capital or GE Company, but he made it grow bigger. So he's a supporter. I'm a supporter profile. Then there is a deal maker. Deal maker are people who are great in negotiating skills. Okay, it's a chart. So the creator is on top. Uske right hand side pe star. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. So creator, star, supporter, supporter के नीचे deal maker के बाजू में trader के बाजू में accumulator, lord and mechanic. Deal maker are smart people who create deals and become winners. Then there is a Donald Trump is a deal maker. He's into the real estate. He's a deal maker. Traders are people who are having great timing. They know when to buy. They know when to sell. So he's a trader. Second guy, the sixth guy is the accumulator, Warren Buffett. they will buy for long-term investments and they will stay back. So he's an accumulator. Lord, Lakshmi Mittal. Like he would buy businesses, steal businesses which are already into existing businesses and make them bigger. So he's a lord. The richest man in the oil industry is a guy who does not own even a drop of oil. Okay, he's a Mexican. He owns all the oil refineries in the world. Smart. So he's the richest man in the oil industry. So he's known as a lord. Then the mechanic. Mechanic is a person who works on systems. For example, McDonald's. Ray Kroc, he didn't start McDonald's, but he made it a big success. So what we learned in this organization is we need to identify your own profile. So there was a psychometric test which defines what profile you belong to, where I realized that I'm a supporter. And your profile will also have some traits of a role above you and of a role below you. So the role above me was star and the role below me was a deal maker. And it also taught us that you should be able to create a team which will have the other traits that you don't have. Then you do a study, all the successful organizations in the world are having the right match of these 8 characteristics of people in their team. And they are successful. This is the exact principle that I applied in my construction business. And overnight, what people have done in construction industry by being in the industry for 25, 30 years, that I and my team have achieved in 8 years. And that was possible only because of creating the right team. So this was a very interesting learning.
Any difficult negotiating situation?
Oh, real estate construction is all about negotiations. So I love to negotiate, and one day I will like to negotiate on behalf of the Indian government. It might be peace with Pakistan probably. But I would love to, I've got a great skill set of negotiations. Any person in my group, if they want to buy anything, from a car to a house to a property to a business to any damn thing, will always make me a part of the negotiating team. And my principle is simple. When I negotiate, only I will speak. They have to just be audience. And we have done great deals. That has really helped us in a big way in construction. In negotiation skills, if I am supposed to meet somebody, I will know about that person before I meet him more than he might know about himself. I will do a complete research and I will go to negotiate at a place in which he is strong. So if he is going to be feeling psychologically strong in his office, I will go to negotiate in his office. And I will make sure that he is with his team and I am alone. So that again gives him a psychological edge that, he has come alone and I am in a stronger position. I've got my chartered accountant with me, I've got a lawyer with me, and I'm an entrepreneur myself, and he's alone. So I get the benefit of doubt, and I really can click great deals, and I've really done wonders in negotiation. In construction, my key role in my team, we have got a team of 6 partners, and my key role is buying. I'm a great buyer, so I can buy anything at my price, and I buy and I negotiate, and my victory is in the term sheet. So I create the term sheet, and that is a skill. That is a fantastic skill of negotiation. And thanks to YouTube, thanks to organizations like TIE, I always interact with people who might be good at negotiating. And I pick it up and I've created a lot of homegrown formulas also. I'll give a very interesting tip for entrepreneurs. When I was doing IT education, I realized what McDonald's does. The real business of McDonald's is real estate, not burgers. They started buying their properties. I started doing the same. I started buying my own properties. So my properties now must be worth a good value. But I also realized that I can't keep buying so many properties on my own because my financial papers have a limitation. So I came out with a very smart homemade formula. The rich friends of mine, I told them, I'll buy a property, I will negotiate. So I will buy it at least 25-35% cheaper than the market rate. You need to buy it for me. I will give you lease 8%. I will manage the maintenance of the property. Whenever the property will be sold, the profits will be shared equally. So I'll tell you what are the advantages in this. For commercial properties, you won't get rent more than 6%. One. Second, 8% is lucrative rent. Third, the buyer is getting 25-30% buying profit on day one. Fourth, he is giving the property on rent to a known person. So the other disputes or challenges are not there. So for example, when I buy 100 rupees ka property at 70 rupees, okay, after 5 years that 70 rupees